Welcome to Seven Trumpets Prepper, and guys, welcome to another edition of the Hard Truth Show. This should be stream number 52, I believe, and let me turn on a little bit of extra light in there. There we go. We're not in the dark. So I want to send a shout out real quick to the person that sent me this, which their name is, and I should already have this up, R. McRae is who sent me the email on this. And I don't know their exact YouTube handle. And shout out to everybody. Shalom to everybody in the building. Hope everybody had a wonderful Sabbath. Those keeping the Father's Lunar Solar Scriptural Biblical Calendar. And for those that don't know what that's about, give me just a second, guys, and I will throw you the link up right here where you can download this free app. It helps you keep up with the Scriptural Biblical Calendar because the world's wandering after the beast today and the Roman calendar, Great Whore of Babylon, Roman Catholic Church, and the man of sin at its head. So if you want to honor the Father, you can get back to doing so by downloading this link or downloading it off the App Store. It's totally free. You can get it on Android or Apple device on the iOS as well. Okay, so real quickly, let me put this link up there because I seem to always forget in the midst of the video and then say it. Make sure, please, to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell for future videos, future streams, future prepping videos, future off-grid videos. Guys, I got some cool stuff coming up about to film this week for you, so I hope you enjoy that. It's going to be off-grid related with power. Guys, if you want to donate, links in the video description below. I greatly appreciate it. And also, if you want to hit me an email, you can do so at seventrumpetsprepper@gmail.com. If you have questions, comments, or if you want me to cover something specific on here, I'm always open to suggestions. All right. And shout out to the subscriber, the person on YouTube that sent me this last week, my man, or young lady, whoever sent it. I appreciate you greatly because it was great information. Done the research on it, put something together so everybody can get the 411. Hey, and shalom, love y'all, everybody in the comments. I see it. Guys, real quick disclaimer. Content that I share on here does not necessarily reflect the views of myself and this channel. All right. So just FYI on that. And hey, tonight we're going to be talking about some serious stuff going on right here on this flat earth that we live under on a geostationary flat earth under a firmament dome of waters above, waters below, just like the scripture describes. This climate change thing is what we're going to be discussing. And this conference coming up, the whole meeting thing that's going on over there in the Middle East. I'm going to go over this in great detail and what's going on the Sinai Peninsula coming up. But we need to understand something. And I actually spoke with Brother Joel on the phone about this earlier this morning when me and him was having some dialogue. And guys, I'm trying to break in my new chair. I took my old office chair to work to put in my new office at the factory in my new little cubicle I got. So I'm trying to break this one in. I'm still trying to figure it out. But I spoke with Brother Joel this morning on the phone. I was like, bro, there's some sinister things at work here. You know, like when everybody was trying to make everybody take the Pope. I was like, man, you know, this may be the ushering in of the New World Order. The full, you know, go ahead and cue up the Imperial March and the stormtroopers, you know, marching out on the street to start hauling everybody off FEMA camps if they don't comply. You know, like that's what's going through my head. And the more I got to thinking about it, I'm like, you know, there's a lot more sinister stuff at work here that I think that the final ushering in of the New World Order is probably going to come in on the heels of climate change because it's something that every religion, every single person in the world, it affects some way or another, from atheist to sadist to believers. Okay. And I mean, heck, there's something in the works apparently in England that they're going to attach climate credits to your direct credits that are in your bank account with the digital system, right? With the digital government dollars and all that stuff, that it's going to kind of be like a social credit score. But if you're doing stuff that is affecting the climate, it's going to have like negative marks. So even if you have money in the bank available to spend, if it's deemed that it's not helpful to the climate, then you're not going to be able to spend money because you've spent it, you're a limited amount of credits that apply toward your dollars too, you've already maxed that out because the things you apparently decided to buy were counterintuitive, counterproductive to the climate. So it's getting wild out here. I'm just saying, this is getting completely unhinged. And so the more time that passes by, the questions that we need to be asking is, by what mechanisms is this system of the beast power being initialized worldwide? Because just like making you take the poke, right, is that if you don't comply with the way they want things with all this climate change stuff that's coming up, and they cut your wallet off. Then if you haven't taken the poke, they cut your wallet off. And then if you have taken the poke and then you decide to rebel, they decide to send something through the 5G, trigger it, and cause who knows what, blood clots, heart attack, whatever, and kill you right there for not being compliant. So, I mean, just lots of theories, lots of, oh gosh, we could just go right down Alice in Wonderland's rabbit hole tonight and just go completely left field. But the thing is that we don't have to live in a time anymore where we question to ourselves, is things that are in prophecy taking place? Yes, to the point that the literal river Euphrates is drying up, that which has been prophesied almost now 2 millennia back, is going on. And somebody said right here, my thoughts, if they take me to a camp, they could hold me down and poke me. If it come down to that, I'd rather fight them. I'm not letting them take me. Yeah, I can't afford to get the jammy. Let's see what it says here. Woe to them who seek to change God's laws. Yeah. Absolutely, sis. Absolutely, Cindy. And somebody said, so much going on very quickly. Events are making it feel as time is being cut short. The mockery is so visible they're going to copy Messiah. Yeah, there is a lot going on right now. Okay, here's the thing, right? So I produced this show. I'm going to say this, then I'm going to go right into the content for tonight because I try not to ever run too long, all right? As far as the intro goes. We are living in a time right now where that I produce this show that is almost 90,000 subscribers is on the show at this point, right? And people send me stuff, and I can't even stay abreast of all the stuff that's going on. Yeah, the Mississippi River is drying up too. We're going to be covering that in this slideshow shortly. I've got a lot of comments to make about the climate change BS and all that stuff. But you got to understand that at the rate of progression that things are taking place, it is so hard for even those of us that have eyes to see and ears to hear and are paying attention, eyes wide open, that as opposed to those that are eyes wide shut, that we cannot keep it all straight. All right. And that says something that should really send echoes down the line, is that, you know, for somebody like myself that tries to stay on top of things, that is obsessive compulsive, that is a hardcore scripture believer, that has walked out of Babylon now 13 years ago. I think it's 13 years now, going on 14, and is really trying to keep toward, trying to do what's right. When you start really considering up on these matters, if I can't keep up with it all, imagine how much the normal person can't keep up with it. And then imagine how much the worldly person isn't even trying to keep up with it. Because I had this girl cut my wire. I'll say this. I'm telling you, I just want to leave this one example on the table, and I'm going to go straight into the presentation. I promise. Segue into what I'm saying here is that this girl was cutting my wire at Home Depot the other day for one of the last projects that I plan to do for customers, because I now manage a tiny house factory, and I ain't got time to go out and do off-grid contracting no more hardly. And so I'm getting this wire cut, and there was this song playing, and I can't even remember. Oh, it said it never rains in Southern California or whatever was that song. And I said, you know what? That's actually legit, because I worked out in California earlier this year. It's bone dry out there in the Mojave, blah, blah, blah. And we just small talked it for a minute, because it takes forever anytime somebody cuts your wire at Home Depot or Lowe's. And so she said, and then we got to talking about the Mississippi is dried up and the river Euphrates and all this stuff. And she's like, I got to go and look that up. And I'm like, you know, that's what's really bad, is like my wife showed me an example of this today. Is she took my phone and she pulled up TikTok on my phone. And it was everything from twerking to booty shaking to everything you could think of if you swiped it on my TikTok. But there's nothing of substance on there to be like, hey, check this out in the news, or hey, this just happened across the world, blah, blah, blah. Just people lost in worldlyism, right? And that was a great example my wife just showed me today when she got my phone, showed me, because literally YouTube, Facebook, and my email. It's about the only thing I do on the internet anymore. All right. So enough rambling. Let's get right into this. So for those in the know, and for those who have read scripture, obviously know on Mount Sinai, right, where the 10 Commandments were given on the sapphire tablets, right, to Moshe. And he come down off the mountain. We all know this story. I mean, like even worldly people should know the story of the 10 Commandments being given. I mean, come on now. Like this is like a childhood bedtime story, like even for children. They you know, everybody practically in the know on what the 10 Commandments are, even if you're a worldly person. So on the Sinai Peninsula, all this conference thing that's going on right now, where world leaders coming together and world faith leaders are coming together, prominent leaders are coming together to converge on Mount Sinai to give a new universal 10 Commandments for climate justice. And apparently I've heard talk of them adding an additional one too. Because, you know, 10 obviously ain't good enough. You got to add one more caveat in there. But like Ron White, if you didn't see years ago on Loud Cry Ministries, where I interviewed Richard Reeves on Loud Cry Ministries when I went down and visited with him about the archaeological discoveries that, you know, Richard Reeves helped work on and Ron White had discovered all this stuff. You can see today where Mount Sinai is burned at the top. All right, because the Most High came down and gave the 10 Commandments. I mean, like this is not. Somebody said they're mocking the Most High. Well, they might be mocking right now, but they gonna not be mocking when they barbecuing in the burn pit one day coming up. Just saying, y'all, it's not to be mocked. Shout out to Reg 83NY. You got that. So we're setting. So I'm just setting the chessboard right now, and then we're going to start putting the chess pieces on the chessboard and start talking about them and the players and everything and the movements and what's going to go on with this. Is you got to understand that there is things being done around this world. CERN. Using HARP, I mean, people in prominent positions of power manipulating the masses and those that have been given over to strong delusion. You know, this is what's being set in motion, right? And I tried to get the most melanated version of Moshe I could get up there because, you know, he was a Hebrew Israelite and he was a melanated man. And I couldn't find one that had the stones correct. So here's a version of what I would imagine I would kind of seen Moshe back in the day. And then here is with the proper coloring, what you would most likely had seen. I mean, I'm to the point where I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see before the great throne of the Most High that those tablets were carved out right there out of that sapphire in front of the kingdom of the Most High. I'm just saying. Anyway. So we have the situation we know of in the past. All right. Now, what we're ending up with, and I'm going to read through this here. All right, real quickly. There's about 6 slides of stuff where I broke this down from the 2 sheets that I was seeing. And then I'm just going to break this down for you. All right, as we go through it. So the Elijah Interfaith Institute, anything that's interfaith, ecumenicalism, we should be running for dear life. All right. There is one way to the kingdom. One way. Through Yahushua HaMashiach, faith in him, keeping the commandments and worshiping the Most High Yah. It is real simple. A shout out to you, Fearmonger. I still appreciate the donation from last week, brother. Going to definitely use that for the good. And yeah, absolutely, my man. I'm always trying to represent things to the legitimacy that they are. All right. All right, here we go. So, Interfaith Center for Sustainable Development says here, returning to Sinai, a prophetic call for climate justice and ceremony of repentance. All right. Now, says here, SUN Day on a pagan Roman calendar of the pagan month of November 13th, 2022, Mount Sinai, in parallel with the COP27 UN Climate Conference. Between November 6th and 18th, 2022, the UN Climate Conference will take place on the Sinai Peninsula. All right. In Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt. Religious communities and religious leaders have a key role to play in addressing climate change and climate justice, which requires deep transformation within society. Knowledge of what changes are critically needed to diminish long-term harm to the planet is readily available. However, bringing about change in action demands deeper changes in attitude, a change of heart. This has been the domain of religions for millennia, also AKA used for control. Religions are sources of inspiration for the transformation of heart and the ensuing changes of attitude. Or as the Roman Catholic Church done, ask people how the Spanish Inquisition worked out for them. Yeah, that's what that underlying text is right there. Sorry guys, just 1 second here. Yeah, sorry about that. Anyway, the context of this is real simple. Oh, and hold on just a second too. I seen something right here that I want to address. Is somebody said that the okay, they took their statement away. I was like, man, come on now, get it together. All right. Anyway, oh no, I'm sorry. Somebody stated that that wasn't where the 10 Commandments was given. Guys, you may want to go back and read the word. All right. So that when it comes down to this, though, where it says that this has been the domain of religions for millennia, keep in mind that the use of religion nowadays is definitely for the means of control, because it has definitely been watered down too. Just saying. And guys, also, if you donate and you donate on here on PayPal, I will see it whenever it comes up. So I appreciate y'all. Much love whenever you donate on PayPal. All right. Now, next slide. Moving forward. Says to support, challenge, and inspire discussions during COP27 at Sharm el-Sheikh. In other words, to push up on world leaders to do the bidding of the great whore Babylon, the Roman Catholic Church. A weekend event will be held at Mount Sinai that will be heart-stirring. Oh, I bet it will. I bet it will. Transformative and a moment of inspiration for religious communities and for humanity. I bet this will be a heck of a show to watch. All right. Never before has such an interreligious climate repentance ceremony been. From this moment, an event motivation for action emerges, calling for re-examination of deep-seated attitudes and for identifying ways to transform these attitudes for the well-being of Earth, our common home. Let me tell you something, guys. This all sounds great, but it is not with the intent and purposes that it is being underlined. I hope you understand with all the crap that's going on and has went on from the Patriot Act forward just in our country alone. Please understand that, hey, shout out to a very special person in the building today. Shout out to you, Tony. Okay, we have bolted enough stuff down to be carbon neutral and eat tacos and burgers. Their doctrines do not apply. Yeah, can we get like an exempt status? Because I've ran an off-grid business for like almost a decade. Like I've helped so many people go so-called carbon neutral and be efficient. Like, can I get some credits forward? I'm just asking, because I definitely appreciate it now. All right, next up says over the weekend of November 12, 13, few official discussions or activities are planned at COP27. This provides a major moment when the attention of media and participants can be turned to interreligious climate messaging and a transformative vision. On SUN Day, November 13th, religious leaders will return to Mount Sinai, a mountain whose memory and meaning loom large as a place of revelation in the collective consciousness of Christianity, Judaism, Islam, and others. It is a site for turning to and receiving message. I try not to say God anymore, guys, because it's Elohim. We need to have some respect addressing the Most High. Like, look, most people use these common titles, things like that. That's one thing, but we need to move past this. All right. I know some people say Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, Yahushua. I understand there's a little bit different how some people pronounce things, but my goodness, let's just get rid of some of this etymology that we know is definitely not the right words. Can we just at least agree on that? I'm just saying. All right. So moving forward, we return to Sinai in a movement of repentance and quest. We seek a new vision for humanity. I don't know about y'all, but I like the vision for humanity that exists, which is worship the Most High, keep the commandments, and have faith in Messiah. I don't need a vision where that I'm eating cockroaches and feeling good about it because I'm saving the world. I don't need this fourth industrial revolution. I don't need Marxism. I don't need Nazism back. I don't need communism. I'm good where I'm at. We don't need to go down this path. All right. Here it goes. And we seek a new vision for humanity and its endangered existence. No, this place is going to burn. This place, the seven trumpets of Revelation, are going to absolutely wash this place clean on the canvas. All right. Just FYI, a guy's house in California the other day got hit by one of the stars, looked to me like falling out of the heaven, I guess. And shout out to them. I'm so glad they're alive and well, but their house burnt down. Like it hit right on their porch, burnt their house down. When a third of the stars fall out of heaven, all right, and people don't rapture out of here and they see the seven trumpets started, they're going to understand what an endangered existence is real fast. And then they're going to get to Pastor Man and string him up probably because he lied to them about the rapture. Anyways, moving forward. Sorry, guys, I just got to commentate on this as we go through it. And we seek to receive and amplify a message of life-sustaining living and habits that humanity needs to hear today. In this spirit, the project partners will bring together premier religious leaders from the world's major religions together up on Mount Sinai. Hey, what qualifies as premier? I'd love to be there and tell these people just exactly what's going to come on. To engage in the first ever climate repentance ceremony and to put forth a prophetic interreligious call to action, climate justice, 10 universal commandments. Bro, I just want to get a hold of that list and read it. I guarantee you. What was it? The Georgia Guidestones. Yeah. I was going to go down there and pray over them. And then like 3 weeks before, which I told people for months, we'd planned that event. And then 3 weeks out from it, they destroyed them, which I still went there and prayed over the side anyway, that they'd never be revealed. But it's like we get rid of the Georgia Guidestones. And now it's like, now they're going to have, I guess this is the replacement for it, these 10 universal commandments thing. I guess it's like Georgia Guidestones 2.0 is what they're working on now. Except ain't Guidestones. It's going to be commandments. They moving on up, baby. The call's originality in compiling the finest teachings of all religions in support of climate justice draws inspiration from the great prophetic figure associated with Mount Sinai. Teachings and spiritual ideal will be highlighted in order to help religious communities. I love it. Religious communities. It should be one whole world worshiping the Most High, not multiple deities, not all this false religion, not all this garbage. It just drives my mind insane now that I can actually see and understand what's up later years now and walking this truth out. And it says here, the ideals will be highlighted in order to help religious communities and humanity at large open their hearts to change for our collective survival. I'm sorry, but ain't everybody collectively going to survive this thing. Furthermore, those of us that believe that aren't obedient most likely won't enter into the kingdom either. So I'm just FYIing you right now. This all sounds good on white papers. It's like many cryptocurrencies, but look at that today. I mean, this sounds great, baby, but it ain't going to sail to Luke. The ceremony will draw from liturgies, readings, and the musical traditions of diverse religions. Yes, because the broad is the path that leads to destruction, and straight is the way, and narrow is the gate, and few there be that enter into life everlasting. The event will incorporate concrete examples of how religious communities are actively meeting the climate challenge and feature concrete initiatives that translate the broader spiritual practices into action. All right, moving forward. We're almost out of this insanity. Goals of the event. Says here, inspire and unleash the power of religions. Oh, if that don't send chills down your spine, please just, there's 3 types of zealots everyone needs to be careful of. Number 1 is a religious zealot. Now, I want you to understand something. Some people right now is going to be like, Luke, you're a religious zealot. I actually go to work each day, and I've had people commend me that I do not push my religion onto them. I literally disappear on Sabbath. I come home, worship, or go to fellowship. Don't bother nobody. Don't push my religion. I don't push the way on nobody. All right. I just mind my own business. I mingle with everybody. You never even know what was up with my life most time. I'm just a chill guy, but I'm not budging on what I believe, what I'm going to do. That's just me. But now there's people that are zealots that have just absolutely got to push what they believe on everybody. Now I'm to the point where I'm in a very special position in the end days. Is I don't have to push nothing on nobody. All I have to do is take up this little poster board and be like, this is the river Euphrates before. This is the river Euphrates today. This is the scripture. 2 millennia of warning. This is going to happen. You do the math. I mean, like, what is that guy on TikTok? That young man on TikTok that, he'll take like toilet paper roll and he'll show people how to actually use toilet paper roll, or he'll show people and be like, he'll just pick up something simple, and be like, this is how you actually use it. And they'll show somebody doing something stupid. I swear, I feel like I need to start doing that, like with the end days, like on these shorts and stuff, all right. Now, moving forward, says, inspire and unleash the power of religious leaders and faith communities as change agents to climate action and as sources for inspiring and motivating discussions among politicians and civil bodies. Right there, cup of idolatry. All right, we're mingling with governments. Religion and government don't mix, folks. All right, this is all about control. Please read between the black and white lines that I have on here for you today. All right. Motivate action among religious communities and the wider public to curb climate change. Invite media to cover religious leaders' advocacy in combating climate change. Promote a coalition of religious leaders to work together for climate action. Generate new faith-inspired climate education materials to broad use. Listen, I got an idea for y'all. All right, before I go to the next slide, I got a grand idea. Why don't you hit me up at Off-Grid Contracting? I'm a believer, right? And I know all about water catchment and proper water filtration usage, gray water runoff, portable power systems, off-grid power. Here, hit me up. I've got everything you need, baby. I've got belief and I've got a sustainable off-grid template that's worked for multiple customers. I've worked for homosexual people. I've worked for people of all different melanations. I've worked for people of all different beliefs. Let's see, I've worked for young and old. So yeah, just call me up. Listen, I'll tell you what, just this one time only. If you, the religious leaders of the world and politicians, will hit me up, I'll do you this. For the next 24 hours, I'll do a free consultation for every country, right? Just call me up. You listen, get me a translator, and I will do a free consult for every leader of this world to help the people better take care of our world. How about that? There you go. That's my tithing and my contribution to the world without you pushing some dogmatic, draconian 1984 laws up on me. There you go. Look at that. See, I've already solved this climate problem if you just hit me up, right? But y'all won't do that. I know where this is all headed. All right. So the who. So that when we investigate things, it's the who, what, when, where, why, right? Well, the who is the man of sin and the religious leaders of the world and politicians. And I've got slides of all of this coming up. But if we're going to do a Hercule Poirot, right, Agatha Christie's little investigator guy that I have book collection of, and Sherlock Holmes, right, at Baker Street, if you want to stop off there and go to B floor, right, and drop off consultation with the man back in the day, right? You don't have to do this investigative stuff too much to understand where we're at now, right? You don't have to have a private investigator, a gumshoe detective like back in the day. So we got our who. Returning to Sinai is an event delivered by world religious leaders, the man of sin, his harlot daughters, and those that follow after him, right? All the false religions that's been made from the great whore Babylon. At its core, the work of the Elijah Board of World Religious Leaders, an active community of high-level religious leaders. The project partners also seek to actively involve at the event celebrities who have a track record of climate advocacy. Hey, I went across this world working off-grid, guys. Hit me up. I'm all about protecting our resources, right? Following the Return to Sinai event, we intend to launch a series of educational initiatives that will flow from it. We envision 2 tracks of continuing dissemination and legacy for the project. The event, its preparation, and the stages of its unfolding will be filmed and made part of a documentary. Social media will be employed heavily to disseminate the event in real time. The materials produced by religious leaders participating in the event will be conveyed into study materials that will serve the religious communities and the community of climate activists in special seminars and ongoing teaching situations. All right, lastly, I think we're almost at the end of this, so I can break this down. Everybody stuck with me, shout out to y'all, because it's just a ton of nonsense, but I want you to understand what we're dealing with so we can break this down. And then look at it also from a scriptural standpoint. The event will be coordinated by a coalition of organizations, and I'm just going to leave that right there so you can pause it or read through it. I'm not going to keep breaking all this stuff down. All right, is those are the three big daddies right there that we're dealing with on that, right? And that interface center as well. Next up, what we need to understand is at the end of it all, this is going to be the man. It's the talking piece when it comes. If y'all want to just go ahead and mark that on down that Luke said that, all right? Because I'm telling you, it's going to be him that's going to be the center line of of everybody talking. Like these jokers here, like this is the coach, and here's the team, right? These are just the players in the game, right? But right here, right there, is going to be the man of sin from the great whore Babylon Roman Catholic Church, the first beast of Revelation. Right there is going to be the man over there tooting the horn that day. You can bank on that. Yep, the poop. That's right. The man of sin, guys. Yep, y'all getting it right there. What we need to know is that what's really going on, so-called with climate change, is it's called weather modification. For those that are lacking the understanding on it, if you have been ignorant to this matter, brothers and sisters, do not be ignorant no more. HAARP is a high altitude, what is it, radio something, blah, 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 blah. Long story short, I don't have the technicals of it wrote down right this moment, but long and short of this stuff, this moves weather, all right? This modifies weather. Matter of fact, listen, we don't even have to go down the rabbit hole with this to the point where China is shooting rockets up in the sky, busting them open and making it rain in places that never rained in China before, all right? So, I mean, we don't have to, oh, really? Really, brother? I did not know that. HAARP is on ships on the ocean. All right, well, now that's going to go on. Now, hold on a second. We're going to see judgment. We're going to see a judgment. And some things are judgment. I ain't arguing that. But I'm going to tell you that a lot of this that we see right now is being messed with. And right here, thank you, High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program. Thank you, Reg 83NY. Now, you got to understand something, is that we have seen in recent events stuff that makes me step back and be like, you know what? This doesn't seem normal. Hurricane Ian, to me, has probably taken first place out of all hurricanes I've ever seen because it actually destroyed whole landmass chunks, gone. And it was almost like the thing was driven with a remote control in a way. Like there's certain things about this that just leaves me unhinged. Now, whenever the Most High comes back, we'll find out. All right. If we're counting we're the end of the new kingdom, I'm sure there's questions we'll be able to answer. No doubt about it. And it'll be put to bed. But in the on cloud seeding too, absolutely, yep. And the spraying and the chemtrails and all the stuff, guys. I mean, just and that has been made public knowledge now too. So it's not like this conspiracy theory stuff anymore. It's out there. If you want to see it, it's out there. But when I see this, I know we've seen destruction on a grand scale, Katrina, Sandy, a lot of stuff over the years, and especially going back. But there is some massive questions left after Ian. I'm just telling you, like whole landmass chunks just gone, wiped out, just like completely wiped off the deck. And it just leaves a lot for me unanswered. All right. But moving forward, some other things. This is the Mississippi River. Now, a lot of people there's this whole kick right now about America is actually the real promised land. And the Mississippi River is the Euphrates or the Jordan or something. They got like this whole expose that they put together. Let me tell you what, when this United States of America gets wiped clean up off the map, people's going to change that tune real quick because this place is a prison house of the believers that love the Most High Yah, that's of the nations. And it is a for sure prison house of the true Hebrew Israelites that are the blood descendants of Abraham, that is under the curse of Deuteronomy 28. You can bank on that, baby. And there is going to be an exodus up out of this land. You can go ahead and count that one on your docket too. And this is just, but anyway, long and story short, the Mississippi River's drying up. And they're saying it's because, no rain's coming in, blah, 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 blah. I guess no watershed's coming to it, et cetera, et cetera. Now, I got to tell you, I just find it so intriguing that with this climate conference thing coming up, that there's been so much climate stuff make the news lately, right? Just absolutely mind-boggling. Now, this is another one. I want to throw this one out there, is the mighty Euphrates River is drying up. And I keep harping on this, not the H-A-R-R or H-A-A-R-P. What is that auto company? I sound like a commercial for that. If you're 50 or older, you can get AARP or whatever. All right. Not the H-A-A-R-P, right? Going on here. Jeez Louise. Whew. This is biblical. Like, you can absolutely count this one right here is coming up. Coming up on, I mean, I've been harping on this HARPING for quite a minute. And you can absolutely bank on that this is biblical. Now, when this sucker hits rock bottom, it's going to be a wild show to see, because what was it? It was Off the Curb Ministries. I happened to catch a video on my feed today. Is that they had pointed out, and I've got to do some further research on this. It's one thing I did not touch on today, and I wished I would have focused in on it, is that you look at it, and it apparently talks about the river Euphrates drying up to make way for the kings of the east, right? But apparently, if you read it in the translation in a certain way, it is to make way for the kings from the land of the rising sun, or from the rising of the sun, or something like that. So like the land of the rising sun, what is that? That's China. Right? When you start really looking at it in that context, like, dang, well, that's really simple. That's like China and North Korea up that way. I mean, that's what I consider kings of the East. So that was intriguing to find that little caveat today. But, you know, we've got to start putting this together. That, number one, some of these things are definitely biblical. Number two, some of these things are being modified by man. And number three, we have to disseminate which ones are from the Most High judgment in these last days, and which ones are being modified by man. But on the same note, we have a conference coming up here where they're going to go where the original 10 Commandments was delivered to Israel to spread to the nations and be a lighthouse to the nations. Also, is that you have to understand this little show that's about to go on. What comes after this, I have no idea. But something we are going to talk about in next week's show is understanding radical acceptance. And I'm not saying Jim Jones, drink the Kool-Aid kind of crazy stuff. I'm talking about we are living in a time where we have to have a radical acceptance in our mind that we've got to understand the American dream is dead. We've got to prepare for what's coming. There is no work hard and be rewarded for your hard work anymore. There is just the extreme rich. There is the political powers, and there is everybody at the bottom. All right. And real quickly, Joy said, my soul may be in Sheol before the Exodus, praying I'm found worthy to wake on the good side. Oh, absolutely. I pray that I can be counted worthy. I want to see all this take place. I want to live to see the kingdom come. I want to be gathered into, and I want to be able to look back and be like, man, I am so glad I made it. And I want to see this so that I am never enticed to sin ever again in the new kingdom and in life everlasting, because I don't want to ever see humanity repeat this cluster mess that we're in right now. But, you know, if you take what I've said here and consider upon it, there's a lot of things that's been rolled into motion in the past couple years. We've had our medical freedoms stamped upon. Now we're having our climate freedoms stamped upon. Our financial freedoms are being stamped upon, because the institution of countries having their own digital currency scares me to death. Cryptocurrency is one thing, but a digital US dollar is terrifying to me, because that movie N-I-N-T-I-M-E, In Time, that is where I see digital currency going. Like the whole scan your hand thing or clock on your arm kind of thing, like friggin' Elon Musk putting the circuit board things in people's head and all that, Neuralink, all this stuff. Like, guys, we are watching some crazy stuff unfold. Not to mention 2025 all the way back. And I think the earliest article I found when I talked about AI was like 2013 or something, is literally talked about that 2025, like they had it bullet pointed, 2025 would be when that AI goes fully autonomous. So when you get full AI fully autonomous, you've got people on lockdown over climate, you've got people on lockdown over health, you've got people on lockdown over finances, and all you need to do is fire that bad boy up and keep an eye on everybody. It's going to be a mess. And hey, right here, now I'm going to make the following statement is not financial advice. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. Crypto is crashing right now, even more than before. I think right now is a prime opportunity if you ever wanted to get wealthy. Grab up some crypto, especially altcoins, because stuff's down 80 and 90%. Guys, if the market comes back 50%, you've practically doubled your investment. Cash it out. Don't be greedy. Cash it out when it comes back. Get your preps, your tiny home if you need it, your off-grid power if you need it. Get food, get water, get whatever you need, and get out of town before things get really bad. Because one day, Bitcoin may go to $100,000, $1 million. You know what it's going to be one day when the trumpets start? It ain't going to be worth a fart. All right. It is just a temporary thing. It's just a temporary thing for me. It's a means to an end. It is just a way to fight the financial system that's at hand right now. All right. And what's somebody say right here? Yeah. There's a bunch of heat waves and stuff going on in China and everything too, guys. Yeah, there's a lot in the mix, guys. Real quick, I'm going to shout out. I'm just going to do one shout out tonight for sponsors on the channel and affiliates, and I'm just going to do the one tonight, and that's for my wife. Guys, if you haven't checked out Scripture shirts I wear on the channel, make sure to check it out. Links in the video description below for KingdomMindedCo. For Kingdom Minded Company. My wife's got a bunch of different shirts she makes. I appreciate everybody that's supporting her on there. I need to update the new pictures on here as far as advertisement stuff go, but she's got the one shirt also where it's got like the bleach style or whatever. I know people are really liking them new shirts. And guys, that one's on there that I helped design. And there's also a whole section that's just 7 Trumpets Prepper related shirts. So make sure to check that out. And guys, also, if you haven't went over and signed up on Odyssey, I do not know one day when they're going to pull the plug on me here. But if you think I'm going to be here forever, you've lost your ever-loving mind. And they're not going to let people like me be around whenever they see what's really up. And, I'm a little disgusted with YouTube. This is the end of the stream as far as content that I had for tonight. The only thing, my last statement I'll say on that is you be watch and mindful of what comes after this, because you will start seeing laws and different things trickling down the line. It will not be pretty. Okay? Control. That's what that's all about. And also, you keep in mind that the man of sin will be at the head of that. You bank on it. All right? Now, moving forward from that, when I was talking about, what was I going to say? I'm so sorry, guys. Shoot. Let me flip back to my banners for a second, because there was something that I had in mind I was going to say. Oh, yeah. Okay. So the other day, YouTube sent me this thing, and it asked me to do fill out a questionnaire that if I felt like my demographic was being, I guess, like looked down upon, and like my channel was being looked down upon, I didn't fall into the correct demographics, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, wow. Like, they actually make care that content creators are getting shadow banned. I went and took that thing, and all they cared about was if I was a male or female or non-binary or didn't identify as this or that, and I chose not to answer anything on that. Then the next thing was that if I was part of the LGBTQ plus community, I declined to any part of that. Then what was it? It was a transgender or something like that. It was insane. That questionnaire was just like all about identifying who people are, what they think, what they believe. Like, it was whacked out. And I just pretty much declined every single statement on there and just left that questionnaire to fall flat where it was. I was like, this is not helpful to me at all. The people that run Google now and the people that run YouTube have lost their way. And I do not fit in here on this platform anymore. Well, I've never really ever fit in. Somebody said, no, they don't care. Every day I have an ad asking how gay I am. I think the ad is from China. You know what? They're filling you out, Lucas. Yeah. You know what they should have asked me is, do I support polygyny? You know, it's so interesting to me that we've got everything from bestiality to homosexuality to all the stuff that like the world's promoting, to the point where they don't even want the nuclear family. But like, what about if I was polygynous? What if I had 3 wives, right, and 20 kids? That wasn't on the questionnaire. I'm just saying, like, guys, I don't even want to get somebody laying in on me. They want to know who to block. Hey, and shout out to R. McRae, who helped make this stream possible tonight. I believe that is who sent me the email. Shout out to you. Somebody said, Calvin said, bro, you, Tia, Tua, and several other are gonna get paid. Oh man, y'all tearing it up in the comments tonight. I love it. Yeah, this channel, yeah, absolutely, guys, give it time. You need to understand. You need to understand where we're headed, because this is there's a certain element of people that's not welcome on here anymore. Like, I'm gonna tell you what, YouTube, in my opinion, if you look at the shorts, if you're a guy, okay, they take these algorithms. If you're a guy, like on YouTube now, it is nothing to me to see some girl shaking her stuff on the shorts on the first left-hand slide there before, as I'm scrolling my feed, like it's just booty shaking and soft porn. I mean, like, I've been really mindful watching like what is coming, like the whole transition. I remember when my son was little, it'd be like recommendation to watch Lego Block Channel, guy build some Lego thing, or some tech thing, electricity, just stuff that would actually relate to my life. And then now moving forward, it's just like stupidity, porn, soft porn, stupidity, soft porn, almost belongs on the adult content channel or adult websites, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's gotten stupid out here, guys. Shout out to you, Calvin. Said, you woke me up. Hey, that's awesome. I'm so glad to see people waking up. Hey, much love. Tiny loves Boston. Shout out to you. But I mean, I just, guys, we're on a sinking ship, and we've got to take what important information we can glean right now and apply it to our lives, because I mean, it's going to get to the point soon where any voice that you can actually hear that's getting the word out, like I said, me and Joel was going to California, and we went through people's YouTube channels that had blowed up over the years, like 100K. Like, I'm talking 100. When I see a channel at 100K or higher, that to me is a massive channel. And whenever I seen that, that their channel views went, and great content, and their channel views went from massive up here to like just trickle, you know what's up. And here's the thing, I've seen it with my videos. Like, I'll produce this live stream every single week on the week now. It's a couple thousand, 3, 4, 5,000. That's great. That's great. Years ago, it was 10,000, 100,000, into the millions. Them videos have, I guess, moved so far through the algorithm, and they have so many views that it's hard to suppress it now. The new content, please. If people see this, it'll be shocking to me. And that's just how it is. And guys, you got to understand that social media is in a massive clampdown right now. Shout out to you, Calvin, for the donation. I appreciate you. Much love, brother. Absolutely. And famine of truth right here. This is one of the comments of the night right there. Famine of truth comes a day when no man can work. Yeah. And we are absolutely at the threshold. But guys, I appreciate each and every one of you, and love y'all. This is going to make for an interesting time coming up. Got so much craziness going on with CERN, and so much craziness going on with everything out there. Oh, by the way, I'll be speaking at Jeremiah Conference 23. 3. Let me take that banner down so everybody can see that. I forgot about that. That will be at the Unity Worship in Cartersville. It's on the 13th, 14th of the first of the year on the pagan Roman calendar. I'll be speaking at that event. So make sure if you're out that way and you want to stop in, I'll be giving a word that day. Y'all willing, hopefully that'll help a bunch of people. But let me take that down and cue up the outro. And guys, it is always a pleasure and honor to be in here with you. And so I have the breath of life to be with you. I hope you enjoyed this one. Next stream, like I said, it will be covering the understanding that we need to come to a place of radical acceptance in our life, because the world is changing so rapidly around us that everything we've been taught, especially in the school indoctrination camp all the way up to now, it is so far watered down that what we really need to think, what we really need to believe, and what we really need to be preparing to do, it takes a massive gumption and a massive radical acceptance to achieve that at this point. And if people don't start making the moves now, by the time it is necessary, most people's probably going to perish. And I hate that, but that's just the facts. So guys, as always, till we see you again here at Seven Trumpets Prepper Channel, hope the Most High Yah Baruch you and keep you, make his face shine upon you, show you favor, and give you shalom, my friends. And Yahushua.